Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a watercolor piece and another paint with me video. So as usual, bust out your supplies and let's make some art together. I thought that since this is like my fourth watercolor video, I talk about my process and how I approach watercolor paintings. If you've seen my previous videos, you would notice the line art and subjects being very different than the one I'm working on here. I find it kind of hard to line portraits. I don't know what about it, but line art on portraits, the way I do it, looks weird to me. So I stuck to lining those previous portraits with a ballpoint pen, but since this paint features full body poses, I finally put my fine liners to use. How I like to do my line art both traditionally and digitally is that I try to thicken the outlines of the characters to make them stand out while making the lines on the inside relatively thinner. Doing line art traditionally is very therapeutic for me and definitely more fun than sketching traditionally, which reminds me I very rarely draw traditionally anymore. Digital art somehow just feels more accessible to me right now, but once I get a break from school, working in my sketchbook and filming as much of it as I can will definitely be at the top of my list. I've been thinking of doing a sketchbook challenge sort of thing to make myself sit and draw and get back into the habit of drawing in my sketchbook. I might join in on the 100 heads challenge, but it just seems pretty intimidating to me. I talked briefly about this in a previous video about how I want to be more purposeful with my character designs and introducing some variety into them. Looking back at this painting, I realized how little personality or emotions these characters show. So improving upon that is something I will try to focus on. Along with that, I'd like to play around with more mediums and work on developing my style. I guess I'm just putting all of this out there to serve as a reminder for myself. If you'd like to hear me talk about my art goals a bit more, I'd love to make a video about that. I'd also love to know what goals you have. Let me know down below. While putting down flat colors in a watercolor painting may seem satisfying in my head, it is actually the scariest part of the process for me. I can never tell what parts of it would end up looking patchy, but maybe that's just my inexperience with the medium. As much as I try not to, I always end up putting two wet colors next to each other and they blend in, and by the time I realize what's happening, it's always too late. I'm pretty sure you'll see that happen sometime in this video too. Now this might classify as the ugly stage of the painting, but I really wish that at least the shadows and rendering on the character's face looked as chiseled as they do here. I was so proud of how her facial structure looked and how the planes of the face were relatively clear, but by the end of the painting and after a lot of rendering, all the structure blended and got lost. Either way, I'm still very happy with how this piece turns out, and it might just be my favorite watercolor painting yet. A sad thing I had to learn while working on this piece was that undo is not really an option when making art traditionally. After weeks of not touching a pencil or paper, jumping straight into this piece might have been a mistake. Like I do with digital art, I assumed that I'd fix the proportions while doing the line art instead of fixing them during the sketching phase itself. I clearly did not fix the proportions of the redhead's arms, and now they look way too thin for her compared to the rest of her body. Even with the girl on the bottom, I thought I'd figure out a way to line her hair, but now it just looks like weird noodles. While the second mistake does not show up prominently in the final piece, the proportions of the arms are very, very noticeable. I think that's all I have to say for now. I'll see you near the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video and the process. Feel free to talk about what you worked on in the comments if you did. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.